strikes. On January 9th, 1997, Jenny gave me a belated Christmas present, a pink-cheeked 7-pound baby girl. We named her Colleen. When Colleen was 1 week old, Jenny brought her outside for the first time. The day was crisp and beautiful, and the boys and I were in the front yard planting flowers. Marley was chained to a tree nearby, happy to lie in the shade and watch the world go by. Jenny sat in the grass beside Marley and put Colleen in a portable bassinet on the ground between them. After several minutes, the boys called for Mom to come closer to see what they had planted. They led Jenny and me around the garden beds as Colleen napped in the shade beside Marley. We wandered behind some large shrubbery. We could still see the baby, but from the street no one could see us. An older couple walking by had stopped and were gawking at the scene in our front yard with bewildered expressions. We peeked at them through the shrubs. At first, I was not sure what had made them stop and stare. Then it hit me. All they could see was a fragile newborn alone with a large yellow dog who appeared to be babysitting single-handedly. They had no idea we were right there. There was Marley, looking like an Egyptian sphinx, lying with his front paws crossed, head up, panting contentedly. Every few seconds he'd sniff the baby's head. Then Marley rested his chin across the baby's stomach, his head bigger than her whole body, and let out a long sigh. It was as if he were saying, "When are those two going to go get home?" It looked like he was protecting her, and maybe he was, but I'm pretty sure he was just trying to get a whiff of her diaper. Jenny and I stood there in the bushes and exchanged grins. The thought of Marley as doggy daycare was too good to let go. I was tempted to wait there and see how the scene would play out, but I was afraid the couple might call 911. We stepped out of the bushes and waved to the couple, who looked relieved to see us. "You must really trust your dog," the woman said. "He hasn't eaten one yet," I said. When Marley was about 6 years old, his intense fear of thunder finally made sense. I was in the backyard on a Sunday afternoon. The skies grew darker as I dug up a rectangle of grass to plant a vegetable garden. Marley paced nervously around me. His internal barometer told him a storm was coming. I sensed it too, but I wanted to get the project done. I figured I would work until I felt the first drops of rain. As I dug, I kept glancing at the sky, watching an ominous black thunderhead far away, out over the ocean. Marley was whining softly, beckoning me to put down the shovel and head inside. "Relax," I told him. "It's still miles away." The words had barely left my lips when I felt a kind of quivering tingle on the back of my neck. The sky had turned an odd shade of olive gray. The air went dead, as though some heavenly force had grabbed the winds and frozen them in its grip. Weird, I thought as I leaned on my shovel to study the sky. That's when I heard it, a buzzing, popping, crackling surge of energy. The sound filled the air around me, then silence. I knew trouble was coming, but I had no time to react. In the next fraction of a second, the sky went pure, blindingly white. An explosion boomed in my ears. I'd never heard anything like it before, not in any storm, at any fireworks display, or in any demolition site. A wall of energy hit me in the chest like an invisible linebacker. I don't know how many seconds later I opened my eyes. I was lying face down on the ground with sand in my mouth. Marley was down too and has hit the deck stance. When he saw me raise my head, he wiggled toward me on his belly like a soldier trying to slide beneath barbed wire. Reaching me, he climbed right on my back and buried his snout in my neck, frantically licking me. "Come on," I yelled. Marley and I were on our feet, sprinting through the downpour toward the back door as new bolts of lightning flashed around us. We did not stop until we were safely inside. I knelt on the floor, soaking wet, catching my breath. Marley clambered all over me, licking my face, nibbling my ears, flinging spit and loose fur all over everything. He was beside himself with fear, shaking uncontrollably, drool hanging off his chin. I hugged him and tried to calm him down. "That was close," I said, and realized that I was shaking too. Marley looked up at me with those big eyes that I swore could almost talk. I was sure I knew what he was trying to tell me. "I've been trying to warn you for years that this stuff can kill you, but would anyone listen?" Now will you take me seriously?" The dog had a point. Maybe his fear of thunder had not been so crazy after all. I pulled Marley into my lap, all 97 nervous pounds of him, and made him a promise right then and there. Never again would I dismiss his fear of the deadly force of nature.